Hey Scorpio, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you found me. This is your mid-February 2017 forecast video where I'm going to do some speaking about an astrological transit that I didn't mention in your February video that's occurring at the very end of the month, and then we'll talk about your cards. So, Scorpio, why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about your stars? On the 27th or 28th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we're going to have a very powerful tug of war occurring in the sky. And what I mean by that is there's going to be some tension or friction between two houses in your chart. This will apply not only to your sun sign, but also your moon and your rising. You'll want to check out each of those videos. So we will have Mars, Uranus, and the planetoid Eris in Aries, exactly opposite Jupiter and Libra. Mars is the planet that represents energy, impulse, and aggression. Uranus is the planet that represents change, change, liberation, rebellion, shocks, and surprises. And Eris is a planetoid that when it was first discovered was actually temporarily named Xena for the Xena Warrior Princess TV show that was on in the 90s. Its name was since changed to Eris, and she is known as the goddess of discord, or some people look at her as Aries' little sister, or possibly even the goddess of war. In the sign of Aries, Mars rules Aries, but Mars is also your co-ruling planet, Scorpio. So you may be taking on a little bit of this extra Martian energy of energy, impulse, and aggression. During this time, during this influence. We've got Jupiter in Libra. Jupiter is a gas giant, and wherever Jupiter goes, it expands. For good or for bad, for better or for worse. So this opposition is occurring between your 6th house and your 12th house. The 6th house is the house of Virgo. That's the house of your work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It also deals with your day-to-day agenda, your daily minutia, the things you do on a daily basis to make your life easier and more efficient. And the 12th house is the house of Pisces. This is the house of secrets. It's the house of dreams. It's the house of secret enemies. It's the house of secrets that you keep from yourself through like repression. It's also the secrets that are kept from you and that you keep from others. It represents your self-undoing. It represents your limitations. And it's a very karmic house. So there's going to be a direct opposition in these areas. Forewarned is forearmed, Scorpio. Now, this energy that's going to be playing out for us with this direct opposition between Aries and Libra is going to bring about a feeling of later regrets. And what I mean by that is that you should count to 10 and remain grounded. And you should use the energy or it will use you. And what I mean by that is because you've got Mars, Uranus, and Eris in your 6th house of work and health, if you aren't working your behind off at work at this time, I strongly, strongly, strongly suggest you go to the gym or find some means of working out this energy through your body, because if you don't, it will manifest in another way, possibly through aggression or arguments. Understand that because Mars is your co-ruling planet, and it's in Aries. Aries rules the head. You may experience headaches or issues with the head at this time. You may be dealing with people, or understand that if you are dealing with people that have strong Aries, Scorpio, or Aquarian energy, there will possibly be the propensity for headaches or issues with the head. Now, there's a possibility as well tied to this, and that possibility deals with confrontations. Those confrontations can actually escalate into arguments. And those arguments can be volatile and shocking or surprising. That's why I said counting to 10 would probably be a good idea, and remaining grounded would be the most beneficial way to approach this energy. There is also a possibility of eruptions. And what I mean by that is not only in your personal world and sphere, but also in the geophysical world. So it could be like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and the like. I don't want to be that person that is a doomsayer, but I believe in empowering people with the information and letting them do what they can with it. I follow different people on YouTube that actually do forecasting of earthquakes. One is Suspicious Observers. The other is Diatrinium, I believe is how you pronounce the name. It's I believe the man is either Danish or Swiss. So I don't really know how to pronounce his channel name, but they both look at the planet placements, and the man from Sweden, or whatever, Diatrinium's channel, he actually looks at planetary angles in the solar system and gives pretty accurate forecasts on earthquakes as well. He's pretty good about the magnitude, and Suspicious Observers is pretty good about forecasting location. It's just people I follow because I'm a weather nerd on top of many other things, and I like to follow that kind of stuff. So, now what I'm going to do is transition over to the cards. Before I start shuffling, though, I'm going to show you this Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck box. I'm going to pull a card from this deck. I'm also going to pull you a card from the Divine Circus Oracle by Elena Fairchild, as well as a card from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck that I like to use in videos from time to time. So, Scorpio. Now, let me shuffle. Alright, y'all. There's eclipses that are going to be occurring during February, one in your 10th house and one in your 5th house. I'll talk more about that if the cards bring them forth. I'm going to use this time, though, to remind you that this is a general reading for my Scorpios. And if this reading does not resonate for you, that's more than fine. I invite you to Google the words prenatal chart to generate a birth chart with your exact birth time, place, and birth date, and it will generate a chart, and it will show where the planets were and the angles that they had in the sky at the moment of your birth. And with that chart, you can tell many different things. I say that these readings are good for your sun, your moon, and your rising sign because I've received confirmation from many viewers that is applicable. If you don't know where your moon and rising sign are, this natal chart will tell you. There are different ways to figure out how to read your natal chart. There are different videos on YouTube. There's different tutorials online. But if you've gone through those and you still don't know how to figure out your birth chart, you can send me a screenshot of your natal chart at sweettastro@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with those placements, because I feel like that's something everyone should know about themselves. And I've had a lot of Scorpios reach out and ask me to look at their chart for that information for them. So, good on y'all. I'm a Scorpio riser, by the way. And my youngest son is a Scorpio riser. I'm going to do one more shuffle for y'all, and then I'm going to cut the deck and get started with the drawing process. Shall we? For my Scorpio viewers and friends. I cannot believe I am already doing a February 2017 video. Blowing my mind. The bottom card represents the underlying theme or the overarching energy. The top card represents the present situation at hand. The second card represents the past. The third represents the possible obstacles. The fourth represents the possible help. And the fifth represents the possible outcome. from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck. This is a deck that I got for myself shortly after I got my tarot cards, and I purchased this deck at a secondhand store. So I don't have an artist or an author to give credit to, but I do send loving and grateful energy out to them for the work that they put into this, because I find this little deck very beneficial, and many of my viewers have really found it to be beneficial and supplemental to the reading as well. Alright. Now, the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck. And finally, the Divine Circus Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. She commissioned many different artists to do the artwork on the cards for this deck, so I'm not going to be able to give them each a personal shout out, but it's a beautiful deck and I highly recommend it. Even the back of the cards reminds me of the American Horror Story Freak Show series. Yeah, my Scorpios can understand. I'm a Scorpio riser, and I like that kind of weird stuff. I was actually just talking about that last night with my best friend, about how I've always kind of been dark. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to pull, well, one card would not come up. And I'm going to take the top card. So, you're going to get Lagniappe. For my new viewers or people who have never heard me explain it before, I'm from Louisiana, and Lagniappe means a little something extra. So that extra card is your Lagniappe card, a little something extra. Hope you learned something new today, y'all. Alright, what I'm going to do now is hit the pause button, do the tarot math. I'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Hi Scorpio, I'm back with your cards, so let's get started. The underlying theme or overarching energy of your reading is the Nine of Pentacles. The 9 represents the 9th house, which is ruled by Sagittarius. That's the house of your worldview expanded through study or travel. That governs higher education, the study of foreign languages, religions, philosophy, astrology, legal system matters, political system matters. It's the house of long-distance trips, adventures, and questing. It's the house of foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things. The Pentacles represent Earth sign energy, and the Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It could also represent money, resources, pardon me, anything you would expend on another living person, living thing, or situation that you hold near and dear to your heart. I like to see this card as the Minor Arcana Empress card, because this character, it's displayed as a female, so I will refer to the character as she, but this individual, she is able to take the things that are around her and close to her and makes her life, her world, and her surroundings a better place for herself and for those around her. She's also capable of production, meaning that if you've got just a handful of ingredients, she'll figure out a way to make a meal out of it. I also like to think of her as the queen of pimprovisation, and what I mean by that is I like to make up words. And you can use the word improvise and put a P in front of it and turn it into pimprovise. And Cat Williams is one of my favorite stand-up comedians from the era of the 2000s, and I love his little attitude, because I'm just about the same height as him, so I get it. So, but improvising is being able to take what you have around you and making something better out of it, is the way that I like to describe it. She makes the world a better place for herself and for those around her. It could be that you're dealing with ninth house energy, or that you're focusing on your money, dealing with a ninth house related item, either higher education or long distance travel, or possibly even the idea of going on an adventure or learning, if not through higher education in like the collegiate field, possibly just furthering your education through doing study and research on the internet, which is now a very valuable resource for many people who at one time couldn't further their education. Now, what's interesting is the present energy card is also a number 9. So we've got the Nine of Pentacles as the underlying theme or the overarching energy. And we've got the Nine of Wands. The 9, once again, that Sagittarius ruled house of your worldview expanded through study or travel. The Wands represent fire sign energy, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, what's interesting is Aries is going to be playing host to the Venus retrograde this year. Venus will retrograde in Aries and go back into Pisces and then move back into Aries again before moving forward and going on through her travels throughout the zodiac. What's interesting is the fact that Aries rules the head, and this right here, this character right here, looks like they're dealing with a head injury of some sort. So that's interesting to note, especially when Venus moving into Aries is dealing with work and health. That's 6th house. It could be that you're dealing with a lot of headaches, or you could be dealing with some sort of head issue. I know for me personally, I'm an Aries sun. I know for me personally, I'm dealing with issues of retention and being able to remember certain things, because I experienced a house fire, as many of you know, about 2 years ago, and I woke up in the middle of the night and my entire world was completely changed. My house was on fire. I ran out, I ran back in, but I've got PTSD from it. I'm an Aries sun, and I've got an injury to the head. There's lots of Aries that I know that have been dealing with injuries to the head, from either bumping their head to, cutting their head, or worse, having issues of the head that have to be dealt with through pretty rigorous medical interventions. But anyways, dealing with the head, this is recovering. This is a card of recovery for me. Standing back, assessing where you're at, assessing the line, assessing the boundaries. It's like you've been through a battle. And it could have been several battles. It's like a card of rest and recuperation almost. Not like bed rest, but like catching your breath. Like you've been running and it's like you're out of breath and you've got to stop and catch your breath and reassess your surroundings and where am I exactly. He does look defensive. The pose in the card is very defensive to the fact of, like I said, the feeling of running, stopping to catch your breath, but still being cognizant and aware enough that you are being chased or you are running from something, and now you've got enough distance between you and whatever the issue is to where you can stop and look and see how far you've got to go before you can get out of its clutches or whatever. You might be feeling a little paranoid too, looking over your shoulder in some situations, Scorpio. And the thing about it is you are able to see past what's going on. You've got a very strong gut reaction, a very strong gut. That's what I used to say before I found out that I was able to do this kind of stuff. I would say I could walk in a room and feel the emotional temperature of the room and tell if there had been a fight or not. I would be able to feel physically the pain of certain people in my world. I just felt that I was very sensitive. I didn't realize how sensitive. The card that represents the past, this is very interesting, is the Lovers card. And the reason it's so damn interesting is because it's the 6th card of the Major Arcana, the Lovers card, and this is where Venus is going to be doing her retrograde in the 6th house. So, Scorpio, let's buckle up and talk about it. 6 represents that Virgo-ruled house of work and health, or competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It also deals with your daily to-do list and the things that you do on a daily basis to make your life easier and more efficient. The Lovers card in itself represents the zodiac sign of Gemini. So you could be dealing with someone who is a Virgo. You could be dealing with someone who is a Gemini. You could be dealing with someone who is a Virgo or a Gemini from your past. And Venus retrograde is definitely going to be highlighted in that 6th house of work and health. I want to say for the majority of the Scorpios, it will be work, but there will be a few of you that it does deal with health. The Lovers card indicates that there's a decision that needs to be made, and it may be one that you have been kind of running from or not wanting to make. It can be a difficult choice as well. Let me tell you a little bit about Gemini. Gemini rules the 3rd house, and that's the house of communication. So you may be getting communication from someone in your past, maybe a Virgo, which rules the 6th house, maybe a Gemini, which is the representative of this card when we're talking about the Major Arcana. Gemini, like I said, the house of communication, that's your short distance trips, but that's how you speak and how people understand you, how you understand others. It's how you interpret and digest and consume information. It is your communication devices. It is your commute, not only the path or the road that you take, but also the vehicle that you use. It also deals with the interactions between your siblings, cousins, neighbors, and people in your neighborhood. I also want to bring up the fact that I've been talking a lot about Venus and Aries, but we've also got Mars and Uranus and Eris and Aries, and I said at the end of the month, we've got that opposition that could bring eruptions. I can't not ignore this volcano back here. Past lovers, past love situations, past relationship situations. It could be past money situations as well, because Venus is the planet that represents love, beauty, harmony, but also money and resources. Money and resources is covered under that work umbrella because you are working for a wage. So if it's not a past relationship in work where there might have been flirting or something like that, then it could be dealing with a past relationship in work dealing with money. Just another way to look at it as well. But it's a major decision coming up, and it may be dealing with work flirtations or work wages. If not that, health. And if it's health, because this card represents Gemini, I want to say, well, Gemini represents like the lungs and the upper torso and the arms. It may be dealing with past issues of an injury to that sort of area, or you may be feeling sick, maybe with a chest cold or allergies or something to that effect as well. So the card that represented the past was the present was the Knight of Wands, past is the Lovers, obstacle is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands for me is an immature fire sign, Leo, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I want to say Aries because of the hat with a little red plume in it, and a lot of like Venus going through Aries and Mars being in Aries. What I think about with this guy is the fact that he's really, really eager about many things, and I see that whenever I see a character card like this with a wand in their hand like that, it looks like a phallic symbol to me. I can't help it. This is the guy that would send you an unsolicited dick pic, or ask you to send a pic when it's inappropriate. the obstacle could be that there could have been some inappropriate communication at some point, and that is where the major decision is being brought forth because of the lovers in this spread. It could be that you are attracted to more than one person, or you are in a relationship and you're dealing with more than one person, or you're in a relationship and you're attracted to another person and you don't know if you want to jump ship. The thing that I say to you is to stay in your integrity. Another thing in the background, these pyramids, once again highlighting that sort of volcanic shape that I saw in the past position with the lovers. This is now in the obstacle as well. So there may be some volcanic activity or some geophysical activity around the world throughout the month of February, especially towards the end of the month. This guy is, he's fast to move in many different areas. He's just a fast guy. And it doesn't have to be a guy. It can be a female as well, but it represents as a male in this picture. The obstacle could be that you are attracted to someone and you want to act on it, but you don't. Or that if you do, that means that you're going to have to deal with making that big decision. Understand that where Venus is at the beginning of February is where she will be tiptoeing back through. So what you're experiencing right now is going to be what's peppering that Venus retrograde for you. Now, the possible help in the situation is the Five of Wands. And this is interesting again, because we've got this 5, which is the house of Leo, the house of your, it's your social circles, your social life, and the pleasures that you seek with those individuals that you call your friends. It's the house of sparks, and it's the house that has your fingerprints and DNA all over it, because it's where you've got the most skin in the game. When I say it's the house of sparks, it's the house of your creative spark, the spark of life, but it's also the sparks of love, because it's where you fall in love, and it's where you make your babies. The wands represent fire sign energy again, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. But you are experiencing a solar eclipse in the 5th house. There's a lot of energy going through the 5th house after the 18th or 19th, depending on where you live on the planet. That solar eclipse in the 5th house, that means new beginnings and new growth, new energy. It could be that your creations or creative abilities, or you may be feeling newly inspired to do more creating. It could be that your social life is now blossoming again. It could be that you are going to be getting pregnant. There are some Scorpios that might be getting pregnant because of this solar eclipse in the 5th house. This card represents play fighting. This could be actual like play wrestling, play fighting, like a tickle fight that turns into play wrestling or whatever. This could also be like playful banter or debate, or like I love watching RuPaul's Drag Race. So like my drag queens love to read one another. This is like reading. But everybody is actively participating in this. Nobody is being ganged up on by, other people. It's fairly distributed throughout. So the help could be that, you need to get back out there and start swinging again. So if you're a single Scorpio, you need to get back out there and get in your social life and just have fun. And that's an opportunity for you to have that social life grow. And when that social life grows, your pool of people grow. And when you meet more people, the chances of you finding someone that you are attracted to and that is attracted to you is higher. So if that's what you're wanting, get out there and mingle. If you're an artist, it could be a very, very fruitful time for you when it comes to creating your art. It may not be a great time for selling it per se, but it would be a great creative boost for you. The card that represents the possible outcome is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is a nostalgic card, and it's can also be a karmic card. Some people see it as a karmic card. The Six is that sixth house where we've got Venus that will be doing her retrograde through. You've got Mars and Uranus there as well. It could be that you're looking back fondly on a situation. The outcome could be that you are possibly reaping rewards from prior actions or prior work done. Work that you weren't expecting any sort of benefit from, but you get the benefit long after. Or somebody's finally seeing your worth, or somebody's finally validating you in some way. The cups represent water sign energy, and the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. That sixth house, you could definitely be getting some sort of recognition or acknowledgement in work, or if it's health, this is if it's dealing with health, this is a positive card. This is a very positive card. Also see this as a card of benevolent giving, where you're able to share with others around you and not be concerned about your own well-being because you have that to give and then some. It could be... Oh, it could be that you are receiving flowers at work from someone, maybe a secret admirer as well. Getting those flowers delivered at work from a secret admirer, that would be interesting. That would definitely get the office talking. Okay, so I did the tarot math on this spread, and we ended up with 35. 3 plus 5 is 8, and that speaks to the house that you rule, Scorpio. That's the house of life, death, and rebirth. That's the house of your instincts. That could be primal, basic, or human. That's the house of regeneration, transformation, and metamorphosis. It's other people's money, and it's also the house of sexuality. And like I keep bringing up over and over again, it's not just Valentine's time. It's more about the Venus retrograde. If it was any other year, I would be talking more about Valentine's Day. But because of Venus going retrograde, where she is right now, she will be tiptoeing back through. You're going to be getting tastes of what you're going through right now. You're going to see it from a different perspective. It's going to be different. It's going to be the same, but it's going to be different. Now, for the Healing and Meditation Oracle card that I pulled for you, it was the Warmth card. And this card has fallen for like 3 or 4 other videos that I've done so far. It reads, cultivating the quality of warmth can help us all to project a healthy balance of emotions, neither too detached nor too swift to take offense. This meditation is a valuable aid in achieving such a balance. Consider the following, Scorpio. What emerges from my heart finds its way into my daily life. My expressions of warmth will contribute to the well-being of other people. My joy in giving happiness to others adds to my own contentment, and warmth binds me to others and diffuses hurtful emotions. In all your dealings, whether with strangers, friends, or family, warmth helps to calm frayed tempers and lighten passionate exchanges. Use it as a moderating force. The next card that you received is from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck, and it is the Bronzite card, which deals with letting go and graceful releases. It can help heal and amplify the root chakra and its vibrations. It reads, Bronzite has the ability to facilitate graceful mourning and recovery from loss, helping you to see the gift in what you must release. You have pulled this card because it's time to let go of the friendship, lover, business, partnership, project, or other pursuit that you are holding on to. Meditate with bronzite to cut the vibrational cords of that connection. Set your losses free and move gracefully forward on your path. From the Sacred, I always want to say this, the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. This is the Divine Circus Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. Same artist, different deck. The first card that I pulled for you is a Sweetheart deck. It is the Sweetheart card from the Divine Circus deck. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a Sweetheart card. It is the 20th card of the deck. And 2 plus 0 is 2. That speaks to the Taurus ruled house of your money, values, earning ability, self-esteem, and possessions. Anything you point to, classify, quantify, or introduce as mine to anyone else would classify as a second house item, in my opinion. And that can include your relationships and your children and the people closest to you in your world, because when you introduce them to other people, you say, this is my ... fill in the blank. This card indicates that you've known, seen, or witnessed darkness, either externally or in your own mind. But now that time is drawing to an end. It's an invitation to stop beating yourself up, and a declaration that you need to be kinder to yourself and to others. It's a reminder to examine all of your relationships and eliminate the toxic bonds, and create space for self-love and self-worth to grow back fully renewed in you. I think it's very interesting that the Sweetheart card is asking you to examine your relationships during this Venus retrograde season that will be starting officially in March, but where you're at right now, where Venus is, you will be revisiting it. But it's imploring you to examine those relationships and eliminate the toxic bonds. And the Bronzite card is saying the very same thing, to let go of those bonds that are not appropriate and not helping you. If you're putting more energy into it than they're putting into you, there needs to be a reflection on that. The Lanyap card that I pulled for you is Rare, Raw, and Real, and it is the 42nd card of the Divine Circus deck. 4 plus 2 is 6, and that speaks to the Virgo ruled house of work and health, or competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. Something I didn't think about until just now, with the 9th house cards that went through, that's higher education. Well, you've got to go through higher education to get the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide, right? Maybe that you're dealing with something in higher education, or something in trade school, or just in school in general, dealing with learning. Just something a couple of Scorpios may resonate with. This card is an indication that you need to drop your defenses. It is an invitation to reveal the real you, to peel back the layers of protection that you have surrounded yourself with. You've built a wall up around you, and I know I've built walls up around me too. It's time to be authentic and vulnerable again. Be brave enough to embrace all of you gracefully. There's going to be some major shifts going on in the planet, not just in your world, but in other people's worlds around you during this eclipse season. And Scorpio, I hope you're ready for it. I think you can feel the waves coming before anybody else. Well, water signs. I hope you're well, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed this reading as well. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I do hope that you're well. Please take care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself. And please save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through private battles in our own private worlds that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. I hope to have this video series out soon for you, and I want to try to get another series done that focuses more on the eclipses and the Venus retrograde. But before that can happen, I've got to finish this. That means I've got to stop rambling. So, take care, y'all. And until next time, namaste, and bye, Scorpio.